with Rodan and Fields?
7 months, actually, just 7 months.
7 months. And I always say this with newer consultants that've been here 7 months or a year or 5 months or whatever it may be. You would always ask, they always say this to me, I would never have thought I would either be in front of people on Zoom, get 62 people watching you right now, or in front of a group of people talking about this business. So, one of the questions I have, especially with new people thinking about join, is they probably have a lot of fears or a lot of self-doubt. What were some of the fears that you had to overcome in order to be successful in this business?
Oh man, where do I even start? My biggest fear was honestly letting my husband down. He was not as enthusiastic as Trevor is. He was not so happy about the idea of me joining the business, but that kind of put a fire under me to kind of want to prove him wrong. After my first month in business, just like Yana, and being able to pay off my business kit and be profitable, he completely changed his attitude. So that fear kind of went to the wayside. I was really worried about social media, actually. I post all the time. It wasn't about posting. It was really about being the small town sales girl. In the town that I grew up, every single person sells something on the internet, and anybody that doesn't sell something on the internet talks bad about all the people selling things on the internet. And I was like, oh no, I don't want to be that person. But as soon as I realized that I could do this authentically and in my own way, that also went away. And by the way, most of my customers are those people. So it goes away as well. I didn't know a single thing about skin. I didn't know anything about our ingredients. And I was like, really, how are these people going to want to buy something from me? Or how am I going to be able to help people when I don't even know what I'm doing? I'd been using the products for a year, but I'd never explained it to anybody and how it was working. So that went away pretty quickly too, because you've got this amazing group of people. We have all these training pages. We have a website that we can go to. We have nurses that we can call at any time. You have somebody you can text that's going to help you at any moment. So it was on-the-job training. And you essentially, by the end of my first month, I felt like I was a dermatologist. I knew everything just by learning from all of these wonderful people. I was also a little worried about not having enough time to succeed. I'm a full-time teacher. I'm a mom. I have a whole lot of passions on the side. But quickly realized that this kind of fits in anywhere. I put in my biggest month. One of my biggest months was on an island in Canada using a hotspot. You really can do this anywhere. 2 more. I was worried about events because no, I am not going to host an event. I cannot do that. And I had gone to events and I was like, ugh, I hate it. You feel like you have to buy something and it's icky. But I realized that if you make the event fit you and not try to get yourself to fit into the event, totally was amazing. I'm a yoga person. I like to do meditation. So I focused all of my events around things that I'm passionate about, and it all of a sudden fell together. My last fear was videos. This is wild. The fact that I'm talking to you and I'm not in a bucket puking is crazy to me. I now videotape everything all of the time, and I'm just constantly talking to myself. Whereas my very first video, I kicked my family out of the house. I didn't want them to hear my voice resonating through the building. So it's just, again, the more you practice, the better you get.
So you said a bunch of things. You probably nailed probably a lot of the fears that all the people are listening to. You said a couple things. One is authenticity, right? This business is one where if you're yourself, you attract people that look at you not only as authentic, but a business opportunity. Second thing you talked about, right, is a lot of people have that fear of either talking in front of people, being in front of the camera, videos. And I would say this business makes you very comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes.
Sentence to think about, but it really does, right? All the uncomfortable things we do, it kind of pushes you to that awkward feeling, sometimes a feeling I don't really know this, but I love how you said that. And you being new, one of the things that I wanted to ask you, the last question was, listening on the call that's hey, you said some of the fears that I feel I have to overcome. What would you say are maybe 1 or 2 things for consultants coming on board to be really successful right off the bat in this business?
On day 1, when I created the Facebook event page for my big business launch, and I invited all of these people, and I was like, what am I doing? I also then went and I made this really vulnerable video talking about my past, something I had never shared with anybody. Well, personally, but not on the internet. I talked about some things that are kind of hard to talk about. I felt like I owed my audience this, like they needed to know my why. Why am I doing this? Why did I decide to do this? So I post my event, but I also shared my why on that very day so that people understood the reason behind what I'm doing. I continued to communicate my why with my audience, and my why is like evolving as I go in this business because it really is life-changing skincare. My life has changed in 7 months, and each month I have to revisit my why and share that with my audience. And through all of that, being transparent and bold and speaking your truth, all of that is going to help you to be successful. I would say another thing is totally need to be coachable. I would watch daily X videos at least 3 or 4 times a week. And I would scribble down notes. I would do this while I was like prepping for stuff in my classroom. And if you really listen to the things that these women are saying, sometimes I'm crying, sometimes I'm laughing, and then immediately I would implement it into my business. You have to learn from those that are successful. And so I would just constantly watch these people that are successful and scribble down what it is that they're doing and do it myself.
Awesome. And just so everyone knows, Daily X is basically a consultant Facebook page where some of our consultants that are very successful go on and train our consultants, basically where live Canada, Australia, and the US. So Mia, thanks for that. I think you shared a lot of insights, especially being very new and very successful to start. So last but not least is Nicole. And Nicole, I have 2 questions for you. First thing I wanted to ask, right, when we talk about